Cafe, where the estate shape. Let's find out and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. He is a fellow podcaster, and one of his advocacy is seeking to bring out the best in people. Well, no other than Mr. Michael Klassen.
Yes. Well, it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And I'm always impressed with the amount of things and tasks that you can get up to.
Yes, people, tune in. We are brewing something good with Mr. Michael, Entrepreneur 101 soon. So, again, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom, Mr. Michael. And today, let's talk about something good, the four
Yes.
friends of success:
Yes.
vision, persistence, resilience, and wisdom. Tell us about it.
Oh, well, I have learned so much from the guests that we have on 5 a.m. podcast. I'm always impressed with how resilient and powerful people can actually be. And a lot of times people don't know how much potential and power we all actually are created with. And so I had been looking at these four essential qualities, how they benefit the entrepreneur and really anybody who wants to move forward. Those four friends of success: the vision, persistence, resilience, and wisdom. And what I've discovered is that I have to get these from people or from books or from podcasts. And if we look at ourselves like we always travel in the same direction as our friends, then we know that success travels in the same direction as vision, persistence, resilience, and wisdom.
Yes. And Mr. Michael, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you for that 5 a.m. podcast. Keep up the good work and let's empower people all over the world through our podcast. Why do you call vision, persistence, resilience, and wisdom friends of success rather than skills or traits?
Hmm. Uh, I appreciate that question. That is good because we're all challenged in life, whether we're working for somebody or we want to work for ourselves. We want to be our own boss. There might be somebody that's listening who they've been working for a cleaning company or something. Maybe they've been working as a meat cutter, and and they really enjoy what they do. They would just like to have more impact or serve their community members in a way. And so, just like we need faithful friends and faithful companions that can help us along the way, we also need these character mindsets to be friends with us and to help us along the way. And so we can have skills and abilities like I was talking about, someone who's a cleaner or a meat cutter, or some a designer maybe. So we can have those tactile skills, but then having that the skills of vision, of knowing where you want to head, knowing what you want to do. You might have the vision part in that you've written down your goal list and you're taking that next step, but then the obstacles come, and or family circumstances. Some of us have grown up in some really difficult challenges, or some have had easier challenges. So we need that persistence to stick with the vision. But then we also need the resilience because sometimes we get knocked down or people say hurtful things to us. Somebody might say, "You're never going to amount to anything." But that's why we
Yes.
need the resilience so that somebody knocks us down or we trip and fall. Well, we pick ourselves up, or we have some friends that can help pick ourselves up. And then, pardon me, I feel like wisdom is that umbrella, that all encompassing one, kind of like the wise old owl that we might have seen. Certainly in mythology, the owls carry some weight, and so we can know how to do something, but we still need the wisdom of know how to implement it. And sometimes we need the wisdom to know when to talk and when to keep our mouth shut. And so that's why that
True.
vision, persistence, resilience, wisdom, those are the four friends of success. And there are friends too, because um, they're not just helpful traits, but I would say they're essential allies that help us in the ventures to thrive. And even when we falter, we can get back up.
Yes, they are allies, people. They goes together. How did you arrive at these specific four elements? Were there others you considered, or what makes these four so essential?
Hmm. I did not consider others as I was building this list.
There's no
Just
cousin.
uh, yeah, that's right. So, uh, looking at my own life where I've made mistakes and learned from those mistakes, and then in meeting the guests that I've had on 5 a.m. podcast, we find that a lot of us, maybe all of us, we all have pitfalls. We all have lack of direction. And, like, for example, we could call vision the North Star
Yes.
because we know that especially for me living in the northern hemisphere, we see the Big Dipper, we see the constellations, and there's that North Star that points the way. And so that's vision. And then we could call persistence the engine of progress. You might want to say passion. Persistence is the engine of passion as well, um, because we need something that keeps us going, and that persistence is the one that says, "I'm going to get up early. I'm not going to hit the snooze button. I'm going to count to five, and I'm going to get out of bed because I want to write that book." And I'm not going to write it if I'm not persistent. So that's why I say persistence is the engine, and then resilience is like a protective shield. So if we think of persistence as that engine that moves us forward, resilience is that ability to bounce back when we're knocked down, like I was talking about before. And we've all been there. We've all had the nasty words or people, they
Yes.
slap us upside the head, tell us, you're not going to amount to anything. And we say, yes, we will, man. And
True.
so in that, it's almost like you could consider that resilience is our entrepreneurial immune system, and it just keeps us going after defeat. And then, of course, wisdom is that strategic advisor. It's the culmination of the knowledge and experience and judgment, and knowing not just the what and the how, but the why and the when. And it's the difference between maybe working harder and working smarter,
Working harder.
or
The,
working smarter, not
or
harder. Yeah.
working smarter. Interesting, Mr. Michael. And can someone achieve success without all four friends? Or they work as interconnected system?
Well, to answer that question, I would say, what's your definition of success? Because sometimes we don't, or often, we don't always know what we don't know or what we're missing. And if we're just taking those next steps, our success might go to a certain level while we're missing a few of these things, because we could have success with our North Star and with that engine. We could be heading in the right direction, and we're persistent, we're getting up, we're meeting our objectives that we set out for ourselves. So we're successful. But then if we don't have resilience, when we get knocked down, or we get, maybe a customer rejects us, or a customer maybe doesn't pay, and then all of a sudden people are saying, what do we do? And people are waving their arms up in the air. What are we going to do? And but with resilience, we can say, I'm not moved by these circumstances. I know that these things are trying to buffet me, and I've had success up to this point. I want to keep having success, so I need some more tools in my tool belt. So, yeah, we certainly can have success to a point, but all of these friends of success have a specific responsibility to help us achieve that success.
Mr. Michael, in your point of view, how do you define success in your framework? Is it universal or does it look different for each person?
Well, I think it absolutely looks different for each person, and it looks different based on maybe the project that you're on or the task that you're doing. Because sometimes something might look like a failure. Somebody might say, "Oh, Michael, you failed. Look at that. You didn't follow through on this because of X, Y, and Z. Something happened." But we can still turn that failure. People could mock us or say, you just failed. But we can say, no, failure, and just like fear, they're friends of ours because they show us what got us into a trouble spot. And so we can still consider that to be success, even though we may feel like we're not moving forward. We have learned something that we didn't know before. And so we can learn from our mistakes and failures. And to me, learning something like that is part of our success.
Hmm. Yes. Let's start with the vision, Mr. Michael. What's the
Mhm.
difference between having goals and having true vision? And why does that distinction matter?
Yes, I like that. A vision could start out as a dream or vision. Goals, I think, are the stepping stones to get to vision. But we could wake up with a dream. We could hear that we're working in a business, and some of our friends are saying, or clients are saying, I'm just not getting this need met and this need met. And we think to ourselves, oh, I could help them with that. And that's the beginning of the vision because someone is giving you a picture of a broken tire or a dirty house or something like that. They're giving you this incomplete picture for them. And then you see it, you hear it, it comes in through your ear gate, and you develop this picture of, wait a second, I could help you with that. I've encountered that same problem. So that's where vision comes in. And then with vision, knowing our North Star and the direction we're going to head, then we can set up those goals. And so we take it from a picture and a dream into reality.
Interesting indeed, Mr. Michael. And many people struggle to articulate their vision clearly. What
Mm.
process or question do you recommend to help someone discover and define their authentic vision?
Oh, yes, write it down. I've been known for my notebooks. I have lots of notebooks around, and
Okay, let's write it down.
we write it down. Uh,
Yes.
but we can write it down in multiple places. And then we could say, okay, so if this is my vision, then we can make a list of what tools do I have, what steps do I have to take. And also, don't always share your vision with people that because they're going to look at maybe the negatives and the challenges. You're looking at how to get it done, and oftentimes when we share our vision, people are looking at how we can't do it with what we currently have, and that's okay in a sense, but they might make you crumple up that piece of paper and throw it away. So that's why we always have to be careful who we tell it to, and why it's great to write it down and meditate on it and think, how am I going to accomplish this?
How should people handle the tension between holding a long term vision and adapting when circumstances change dramatically, Mr.
Yes.
Michael?
Oh man, that is a tale as old as time, my friend. And how long, if you knew that you couldn't fail, but it was going to take you 10 years to achieve your dream, would you do it?
I think so.
Yes. So then when we see the tension of it's not here yet. Okay, so there's a problem inside. I'm not patient. I want it now, right? And there's a saying, The world's favorite radio station is WIIFM. What's in it for me?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is people would like it now, that flesh, that human nature is like the best time is now. And the creation, God, our friends, advisors, maybe some mentors might be saying, but wait, you're not fully prepared yet. So do you want to go run out into um like where I live, there's lots of snow and cold temperatures. And so if we're going to go on a trip, well, we've got to make sure that we've got all the stuff we need in the car. We have to make sure not only that the car's good for the freezing temperatures, but we could die if we're not prepared in this cold weather if something happens to your car. And so even through my childhood, it was always prepare for winter. You know it's coming. And so we can say we know that our goals and our visions are going to come to completion. We just don't know how long it's going to take in some cases. And so we need to make sure that we're prepared for the journey, and we need to make sure that we're prepared for the destination. So, like if it's a Christmas trip, we got to make sure the car's ready for that 5 hour ride through snow and blizzard and freezing temperatures. That's preparation for the journey. The other important thing is making sure we remember to pack the Christmas presents.
Definitely Christmas present.
Yes,
Don't forget.
don't forget the presents.
Mr. Michael, persistence is often praised, but how do we distinguish between productive persistence and stubbornly pursuing the wrong path?
Oh man, I like it. And this comes down to uh and this is actually an important part of this whole thing, because we know that we need to persist and to push through. And then sometimes we might find out we've been trying to open the wrong door. Then it's locked. I thought I had to go through this door. And you're like pushing and you're knocking and you're waiting and you're hoping that someone's going to come to the door, because we're being persistent and maybe we're being a little bit stubborn. And stubborn kind of has that negative connotation. And maybe it would be easier to open the unlocked door if I had the key. And I don't know if I have to make the key or if I have to go ask somebody for the key. But oftentimes, like you go to a service station or something and you really need to use the bathroom, at like, you got to go and you know where the bathroom door is in the service station, and you get there and the door's locked. Well, there's one of two things. We can find out in our persistence or our stubbornness. Our stubbornness might keep us at the door, knocking and wanting someone to open it. Our persistence is actually going to go to the counter and ask the attendant for a key to the bathroom, right? That's the persistence versus the stubborn. Sometimes when we're in that emotional state, we don't always make the best decisions. We don't always say the best things, but
Yes.
we have to know, okay, so I need to get through. My vision is to go through this doorway. Okay, maybe there's someone that's got a key. It's
Mhm.
better than having to knock the door down.
Mr. Michael, as a podcast host, what are your short term and long term goals?
Yes. Okay, short-term goals. We're going to be starting on a Roku channel in November. It's called Reveal, Reveel. So that's our short-term goal. Our long-term goal is, of course, we want to bring up our subscriber base, but we're working on a couple of books, and those always seem to take longer. There's a children's book on financial wisdom and stewardship that I've been working on for a little bit of time. I'd like it to be done, but there's always something that you can make better. And there's a couple of other things that I'm working on. So within the next 6 months, I'd like to have a couple of books out, and then of course just continuing on with. I'd love to get to 100 downloads a day for our podcast, and so I realize that takes time. Uh, we're about I don't know, 20%, 15% of the way there. I think we're still a young channel, but sometimes it's hard to put the goals on numbers like that because there's so many unknown variables.
Yes,
So yeah, we keep working at it one step in front of the other, day by day.
definitely. And looking forward for more success, Mr. Michael, and
Yes.
good luck.
Well, thank you. I'll take it.
And tell us, what will be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be a podcast host like us?
Uh, well, I think the first thing I would say and would be Matthew 6:33, which says, "Seek first the kingdom
Kingdom of God.
seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and His righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you." And so, when we have our mindset and our morals and that righteous living and attitude, then things that we want, things that we have focused on, if they're good and righteous, they'll be added to us.
Interesting and powerful verse. I'm inviting you, Mr. Michael, to be part of my new podcast, Bible Verses 101, and
Yeah.
let's share your empowering verse in the Bible to the world. And thank you for that. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My
Mhm.
other podcast, because my Abstract Essay is already in fifth season, Abstract Poetry in second season, and my baby podcast, Bible Verses 101, Law 101, and Mental Health 101, Book 101 review in fifth season, and Comedy 101 in third season, and Food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, as well as my Movie 101 and Music 101. And Love Letters is in fourth season as well, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its second season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Michael, in the age of information overload, how do we develop a genuine wisdom rather than just accumulating knowledge or following advice?
Oh, wonderful. Because wisdom is one of those things that we need, but it doesn't come from within, it comes from outside of us. And so we need the right source of wisdom and guidance and direction so that we can put all of these pieces together. And so it says in Proverbs, in all you're getting, get understanding and get wisdom. And I would say a superb source for wisdom is the
Yes.
book of Proverbs in the Bible. And there's one chapter for every day of the month. So we're recording this on the 5th today, so we can read chapter 5 in Proverbs. And as often as I have read the book of Proverbs, I have always found something helpful in there.
Mr. Michael Klassen, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So,
Thank you.
can you please invite our listeners to support your podcast, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Oh, yes. Well, if you can go to 5ampodcast.com. We have articles, blog posts, of course. We've got all our podcast episodes there. We've got a shop tab, and we've got the buymeacoffee.com/5am podcast.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Michael Klassen, because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering
Yes.
episodes of the podcast, more and more empowering advocacy to come. So, Mr. Michael, thank you so much for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me. It's been great to be here. I appreciate it.
More to come, people. See you soon.